spooky morning Sublime Squad. It's Halloween week, and Bubs Bubblicious and Spuds McGamble are here, welcoming you to a truly scary good episode of Ineffably Sublime, where tonight's news is darker than the shadows creeping around the corners of your room. First up, we're unearthing a chilling tale of headless vampire children. Yes, you heard that right. It's the kind of story that lingers long after the lights go out and makes you hug your Kevin a little closer. And while we're at it, we'll take you back to where it all began, diving deep into the origins of Halloween itself, where ancient spirits roam and the history of ghosts still whisper. But that's not all. We've got your local tales of terror straight from the streets that you know. Those unexplained knocks, eerie sightings, and things that go bump in the night right in your backyard. So crank those knobs and keep your nerves steady. You've just tuned into Ineffably Sublime, where the spookiest stories have only just begun.
Frankenstein's got his headphones on, listening to Spuds and Bubs till dawn. Goblins snickering with delight. This podcast sets their souls alight. Vampires tuning in from their graves. Mummies dance in ancient caves. Skeletons rattle, keeping time. Monsters revel in the spooky rhyme. The kings of monsters on the air, with jokes that raise the darkest hair. Eldritch tales and ghastly roars. Bubs and Spuds make them crave for more. Zombies shuffle through the dark. Gather round to hear the spark of hilarity in eerie tunes. Monsters laughing under the full moon. Vampires tuning in from their graves. Mummies dance in ancient caves. Skeletons rattle, keeping time. Monsters revel in the spooky rhyme.
Welcome in, Sublime Squad. It is Halloween week, and we are here, and we are talking more spooky shit, and then after that, we're done with the spooky stuff for a while, and we're going to be heading into probably Thanksgiving territory, but we are here, and this episode comes out like 3 days before Halloween, maybe even like 2 days before Halloween, so we got an extra spooky one for you, and then we're calling it quits. But I'm Deej, and with me is Spuds. What's going on, Spuds?
Hey-o, what up?
Not much. You excited for the spooky shit to be over with? This one's a doozy, so says Amanda, so.
Yeah, I'm very much excited for this to be over. We were talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and something possessed me over the weekend. I was flipping channels, and I think it was, had to have been IFC, because you could hear the swearing. The remake of Nightmare on Elm Street with
Rorschach.
Jackie Earl Haley as Freddy Krueger. I'm going to say I don't think it was terrible. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible either. He was very good as a Freddy Krueger. I thought the makeup was atrocious.
Oh, yeah, it's real bad.
He looked like a fish. Like, he didn't look like Freddy Krueger. Like, certain spots, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with his face? Like, I don't know what they were trying to accomplish with his face, if they wanted to do something un-Freddy Krueger-like, or what the deal was.
I think what they were doing, probably, in my personal opinion, was to make it look more like he'd actually been burned. Because, let's face it, Freddy Krueger does not fucking look like he's been burned.
No, the old ones, no.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and I think that they were going for realism, despite it being not a realistic movie, but...
Yeah. I mean, I didn't mind him as a Freddy Krueger. I really didn't. I thought he did, I mean, not great, but not terrible either. And like I said, I didn't think the movie was all that bad. I mean, there were obviously some weird, plot holes and shit. Like, I don't even call them plot holes, just weird shit. It didn't really totally make sense, but like I said, overall, I mean, in Spud's movie ratings, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, not atrocious, not an Adam Sandler movie. Definitely better than Sandler movies, but not up there. And then
fuck was I just
what-
gonna say?
I don't know.
Okay, keep going.
Well, then we watched Poltergeist at work the other night.
Oh yeah, I was proud of you for that one.
Yeah. I didn't mind that movie. It doesn't like scare me. And then I dropped that knowledge on everybody that the skeletons in the pool are actually real skeletons because they were cheaper to get than making skeletons, apparently.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I knew that, but
Yep. I had to Google that just to make sure, because after I said it, then I'm like, oh shit, I hope I'm not just saying something stupid, but it was real. 4 real skeletons popping up out of that pond. No, not a pond. It was a pool.
either way, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, what else did we watch? Well, we had Exorcist on there for a little bit.
I just couldn't handle that movie, man. I didn't really speak my mind while y'all were watching it, but like it's just so old. It's so fucking old.
It is old.
And
it's not scary. Like, it didn't scare me one bit. Like, it's like everyone talks about growing up how that scared the bejesus out of them, and I sat there. I didn't watch all of it, but I watched enough there. I was just like, all right, like it's a movie.
It's
like,
just too. It's like it's not only is it an old movie normally. Like, I don't even know what year it came out.
70,
probably the late 70s.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 73, 75.
Okay, so not only did it come out then, but I feel like it took place even further back in time. Like, they're like, oh, we're gonna do a period piece. So you're in the 70s, the late 70s, mid 70s, whatever, and you're doing a period piece. So it's even older looking, and I'm just like, no, I can't do it, man.
73.
Okay, so yeah, and I'm assuming the setting was further away.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but either way.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I mean, I can see how people thought it was. I mean, like I said, when I watched it when I was a kid, it scared the bejesus out of me. But I think after all these years later, it's just like, it's not terribly scary. I mean, it's freaky.
I don't know. I just like, whatever with that. Yeah. I wanted to watch it. It's one of those movies I had on my list, and I'm like, maybe I should actually give it a shot. But when I walked over to you and I started cracking the fuck up and I said that, I was like, this is the world without phones. Remember that?
No.
Oh, you must have been sleeping.
I think I did. I dozed off a couple times.
So I walked up right next to you and I started laughing at that one scene because the guy's just sitting, he's just leaning on the counter and he just starts talking shit on some other guy. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, I do remember that. Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, he's just stirring the shit pot for no fucking reason at all. Like, and he's just drunk off his ass, standing on the counter or leaning on the counter, just, talking shit. And I don't know. I just thought it just cracked me up. All right. So, Amanda, are these the holidays for next week? Okay. So, disregard what I just said, listeners. Today is International Internet Day, National Cat Day.
Oh, meow.
National Mitch Day.
Oh, get out of here, for real.
No, National Hermit Day.
Oh, hey, well, yeah, that is me. Which is unlike me because I have been a social butterfly this last couple of days. I've had to go to Walmart. I've had to talk to people. And I got to go places today. But yeah, I try so hard to be a hermit.
Before I ask this next question, also National Oatmeal Day. What's this I hear about a bomb threat that happened at the Clearfield Walmart?
I don't know. Did somebody poop?
No, like an actual bomb threat. They evacuated the place.
When? Today?
No, like a couple days ago.
Oh, hell, I don't know.
Shit,
I didn't hear. I didn't hear anything about that. I thought you were gonna do like that. Like we talked about that story the news bloopers of that lady saying about the guy got the cops called on him because he was walking into a bathroom at the Home Depot and he said he was about to drop a bomb in there or something. He was fixing to blow it up, and
my God.
they thought he was gonna put a bomb in there, but here he was just walking by telling people he had to poop. That was all it was.
Dang. Oh, here's the news story.
Oh, wow. Threat made against Clearfield Walmart under investigation. I did not hear anything about this.
That's crazy.
Saturday, October 19th. Huh. Evacuated the store around 9:03 p.m. in the K9 units. Wow. I was even there on Saturday.
Really?
No. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it
Were
was
you
in
there?
the afternoon.
Oh, I was going to say, were you there at 9:03 p.m.?
Nah, fuck no. I was probably falling asleep at 9:03 p.m. Saturday. No, I was watching the baseball game. So no. Well, falling asleep, though. No, I had not heard anything about that.
Well, there's the news story for that, but
yeah.
Speaking of news stories, and to move this episode along, here's the Amanda says this episode is super creepy news story for the week. Get ready for haunted nightmares, Mitch. That's what it says.
I don't like this.
All right, so archaeologists have discovered remains of decapitated vampire children believed to be demonic beings. Holy fuck, what a headline. This is by Ben Cost, and it's coming from the New York Post. Published on September 17th of this year. And you want to read, or do you want me to go?
Oh, no, you go, because I'm just going to pretend I'm not listening.
Okay. Archaeologists in Poland were flabbergasted. I love
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
Were flabbergasted after discovering the remains of alleged quote-unquote vampire children, one of which was decapitated to allegedly prevent them from rising from the grave. The burial clearly shows signs of anti-vampire practices by Dr. Stanislaw. What the fuck?
Yeah. You've never heard of old Stanislaw Golob.
Stanislaw Golob, an archaeologist with the Lublin. Oh my God!
Wow, this is
Lublin voivodeship, conservator of monument. That sounds like a fucking D&D character.
Wow.
Lublin voivodeship, conservator of monuments. Anyway, that guy, he led the excavation. Workers had reportedly initially stumbled across the skeletons while removing tree roots for an ongoing garden renovation project at the Palace of the... how the fuck do you say this?
Uniate bishops and Chelm? I don't know.
Per a translated Facebook post by the Institute. Man, I mean, it's okay. Oh man. All right. So, they were exhumed for examination by Golub and his team. Based on the earth they were found in, the associated pottery fragments, the bones allegedly date back to the 13th century. So the days of yore.
It was massively the days of yore.
A time when precautions were taken to prevent dead from reanimating. The Jam Press reported this. According to the Post, one of the macabre grave sites had all the characteristics of an anti-vampire burial practiced in Europe at the time. These included the fact that a child had their skull removed and was interred face down with stones atop their torso.
Jesus.
Fuck. So, burying with the face to the ground. This is a quote from Dr. Golub himself. Burying with the face to the ground, cutting off the head, or pressing the body with a stone are among the methods used to prevent a person believed to be a demonic being from leaving the grave. The alleged baby Dracula was also buried in gypsum soil and oriented on an east-west axis. Both common. What the fuck does that do?
Oh, it's all about the axis. That's what it's all about. If they're not oriented in an east-west, you got to be north-south. It's always north-south, always.
Does the north-south axis change things?
It does. It's a whole big thing. You wouldn't understand.
Just how did they figure this out back then in the 13th century? How are they like, you got to bury him on an east-west axis, or
Well,
they
this
might?
this is where we get a lot of fucked up shit, is from these bastards back in the day. Oh, you gotta be north-south, can't be east-west. What the fuck does it matter? I mean, really, does it really matter?
So what? Okay, what is east-west? Are they saying horizontal? Is this just
No,
a fancy? That's what that fucking means, right? Or are they buried with their head in the east and
I have no
facing
clue.
east or west? What? What does that have anything to do with?
Well,
it?
I thought when people, like, when you go to graveyards and stuff, aren't they all like in the same direction? Don't they all have to be, when you bury somebody, isn't it a burial thing? Like, they have to be at a certain axis?
I don't know the answer to that.
I
but
don't know that answer to that either. I could be
based
making
off
that
what
up.
Amanda is sending us now, I mean, if they thought they were vampires, then okay, maybe they, the sunrise and the sunset, maybe, because vampires can't be in the sun, maybe that's what they were worried about. I don't fucking know. But I don't know what you're talking about. That's interesting. See, I think people in graveyards should be buried vertically.
But just wait, vertically? Oh,
Yeah,
like
like
just straight up and
standing
down.
up. Yeah. You have a lot more room that way.
Oh, right here. AI just says many people buried in an east-west axis for religious reasons, including Christianity, Judaism, Islam. Let's see. Christians often bury their dead facing east because the Bible says Christ will come from the east. Christian churches are also built with the entrances facing west so that worshipers face the altar during services. However, clergy members are usually buried facing west so they can face their congregation when the dead rise. So everyone's east-west. Nobody's north-south. I'm gonna go north-south just to
Just to fuck it all up.
yeah. It's like everybody go east-west. Nope, not me.
Put
Or
it
maybe
in the
I'll do
will.
what you used to. I'm just gonna go straight up and down. I'll go vertical.
Put it in the will.
Yeah.
Bury me north south.
Oh, then there
All
we go. Amanda said facing east means facing the rising sun or a new day. Okay.
So the burial site also had post holes, which were likely used to monitor the graves for signs of a vampiric resurrection. More puzzling was the fact that both children were interred without coffins or a traditional funerary ornaments in a site far from any known cemetery. This suggests that locals, the slack-jawed yokels,
you dirty Polish motherfuckers.
This suggested that they may have used the area for undocumented burials for a period of time. Researchers are currently analyzing the remains to glean more insight.
You gotta glean,
article, man.
You gotta glean, man. You've got to glean.
They are analyzing this to glean more insight into burial practices during the era. Resurrection interference was commonly practiced throughout medieval Europe, particularly Eastern Europe, where lore involving vampires and revenants, reanimated corpses, was prevalent. Damn.
Yeah.
So the article ends by saying, unfortunately, like with the notorious Salem witch trials of the 1600s, superstitious, not just the little stitious residents, but superstitious residents were often quick to blame everything from rampant disease to misunderstood psychological afflictions on said supernatural entities. In many cases, some from as recent as the 18th century, those slapped with these scarlet letters were actually just suffering from tuberculosis.
Jesus.
Fuck me, man.
Yeah,
So-
don't get sick. Don't get sick. You're a witch or a vampire. Yeah, this kid probably just had funky teeth or something. Just fucked up teeth and was weird looking, and then they just assumed he was a vampire and chopped his head off and just threw him in a dirt pile
Man, you know,
in Chelm.
I say all the time, like, what a time to be alive. But back then, fuck that, dude. You got birds flying into mud huts and all your shit, like all that shit that we talked about in that superstitions episode or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah. I'd be afraid to do anything back in that day. Because it would be some sort of weird, goddamn fucking demonic something or other. Or, they're talking about here. Yeah, and the witches and don't get sick. Just don't get sick.
It's just weird the
don't
way
say
that they
anything weird.
came about things. Like, oh, cut the foot off that rabbit. It's good luck. Like, get the fuck out of here.
So wild.
It is
Yeah,
wild.
like you said, it just a time to be alive.
Well, if you're looking to glean some more insight on what Halloween means, that's what we got coming up right now.
Right
We're
now?
going to do a little bit of origins of the history of Halloween.
Ooh,
Um,
let's originate.
yeah, let's originate. Sorry, we're kind of moving things quickly along here because we don't have a ton of time, so we want to try to get as much of our episode in as possible. But I'm gonna let you.
Ooh, this is from the History Channel.
Yeah.
Look at you. All right, so here we go. First paragraph. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st, and Halloween 2024 will occur on Thursday, October 31st. Weird sentence. The tradition originated. Wow, originated. I guess that's another way I could say it.
Yeah.
Originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Samhain.
It's one of those words. It's actually pronounced Samhain.
Oh, fuck that shit. All right. So it's Samhain, even though there's no W, whatever. When people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. Weird ass motherfuckers. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints. Soon, All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions of, I'm calling it Samhain. I don't care.
Okay, that's
The
fine.
the evening before was known as All Hallows Eve and later Halloween. Over time, Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick-or-treating, carving jack-o'-lanterns, festive gatherings, donning costumes, and eating treats. Don we now our gay apparel. Oh, I
That's
guess
right.
that's Christmas. we're donning the wrong stuff.
It's still gay apparel.
It can be gay. When is Halloween? Okay, it's always
Already went over that.
31st, yes. What is it? We already talked. Okay, so we already talked about this. Oh,
What is this at the top here? A summary? It's like,
yeah, it was like a summary. Yeah. Okay. Well, so here we go. We're going to do a little bit of, let's see, this history again. Halloween's originated at the Celtic festival. Okay, the Celts, who lived 2,000 years ago, mostly in the area now that is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and Northern France, celebrated this new year on November 1st. Okay, we already talked about that. We talked about that, so that paragraph's no good. Let's see. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts throughout thought that the presence of the otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids or Celtic priests to make predictions about the future. For a people entirely dependent on the volatile nature of natural world, I can't read, I'm sorry. The volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort during the long dark winter. I felt like I missed something. Did I miss a paragraph?
no, it's fine. I mean, you skipped over a paragraph at the top here, but it's okay. It doesn't really.
Yeah, because we kind of already talked about that. The Celts believed that the night before the All Saints' Day and Samhain.
It all has to do with this one thing here, where they believe, the night before the New Year, the boundary between worlds of the living and dead became blurred.
Ooh, where the fuck that say? Where are you at?
I'm right above the article that you skipped.
Oh, so I probably shouldn't have skipped it. All right, that's my fault.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll finish it up. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghosts of the dead returned to Earth, and that was what led into the thing about the crops and the druids and all the weird fucking 8th century shit that they were worried about. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, because I don't know where you're at. For some reason, my internet browser is popping up political shit and everything, so I'm all over the place. So
this fucking website is full of ads. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you keep hitting her up, and then when I figure out where the hell you're at, then I'll chime in.
I'm right below where you just read. So to commemorate the event, the Druids built huge sacred bonfires where people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. When the celebration was over, they relit their hearth fires, which they had extinguished earlier that evening from the sacred bonfire to help protect them during the coming winter.
There we go. Did you know? I'm going to say this one because I know where we're at now. 1/4 of all candy sold annually in the U.S. is purchased for Halloween. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Only 1/4.
Only 1/4.
Wow.
Now, that is still a lot, though. For 1/4.
I wonder if in here. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm done.
Oh, I was going to say, I wonder if in here, if they have anything about the history of jack-o'-lanterns, because that's super interesting. And it would go along here with what we're reading right now because of the hearth fire and shit like that.
Oh.
So
I'm assuming.
I'm just going to go ahead and assume Amanda's already on it.
Oh, of course. Yeah. All right. So by AD 43, the Roman Empire had conquered the majority of Celtic territory. In the course of the 400 years that they ruled the Celtic lands, 2 festivals of Roman origin were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain, whatever. The first was Feralia, a day in late October when the Romans traditionally commemorated the passing of the dead. The second day was a day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. The symbol of Pomona is the apple, and the incorporation of the celebration into Samhain probably explains the tradition of bobbing for apples that is practiced today on Halloween. Oh, so bobbing for apples is because of Pomona. Bobbing for Pomona.
All right, so here's the article that correlates to this. So I always thought this was interesting, and like a couple years back, I did a thing about this on one of my other podcasts. But Nate and I talked about this in pretty great detail because it's a very interesting story. So this is the history of jack-o'-lanterns and why we do that. It's fucking weird. I'm obsessed with, like we talked about at Christmas time, I'm obsessed with holiday traditions and why nobody fucking questions this shit. Nobody ever wondered, why are we carving pumpkins? Like,
yeah, I never did. I never gave a shit. I just knew we did it. It's like, why do you do it? I don't know, because we do.
Right, but nobody ever asks those questions, so you just do it, and then, you go on. But pumpkins with ghoulish faces have illuminated by candles are a sure sign of, you guessed it, Halloween. Ooh. The practice of carving ghoulish faces on vegetables may have roots, pun intended, in Ireland, where large turnips served as early canvases. In fact, the name jack-o'-lantern comes from an Irish folktale about a man named Stingy Jack. Irish immigrants brought the tradition to America, home of the pumpkin, and it became an integral part of Halloween. So, the legend of Stingy Jack, it's a weird fucking story, but people have been making jack-o'-lanterns at Halloween for centuries. One version of the practice may have originated from the legend of said tale, Stingy Jack. According to the story, Stingy Jack invited the devil himself to have a drink with him at a bar. True to his name, Stingy Jack didn't want to pay for his drink, so he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin that Jack could use to buy their drinks. It's like,
what?
Once the devil did so, Jack decided to keep the money and put it in his pocket next to his silver cross, which prevented the devil from changing back into his original form. Jack eventually freed the devil under the condition that he would not bother Jack for 1 year, and 1 year only.
Just 1 year.
And that Jack would die, and that should Jack die, he would not claim his soul. The next year, Jack again tricked the devil into climbing into a tree to pick a piece of fruit. While he was up in the tree, Jack carved a sign of the cross into the tree's bark so that the devil could not come down until the devil promised Jack to not bother him for 10 years this time.
So Jack and the Devil sounds like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner kind of shit going on.
Pretty much. So soon after this happened, Jack dies. As the legend goes, God would not allow such an unsavory figure into heaven. The devil was upset by the trick that Jack had played on him, and keeping his word to not claim his soul would not allow Jack into hell either.
Wow, poor Jack.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So he sent Jack off into the dark with only a burning coal to light his way. Jack put the coal into a carved-out turnip and has been roaming the earth with it ever since. The Irish began to refer to this ghostly figure as Jack of the Lantern, which, as humans do, lazied it up and now call it just jack-o'-lantern. So the story likely drew on a parallel etymology of the term jack-o'-lantern as akin to will o' the wisp, as a mysterious light seen in the wooded or swampy areas at night, sometimes the natural causes or other times as a result of mischievous children lighting lanterns. So, yeah.
So, Stingy Jack.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him. God didn't want him. The devil didn't want him.
Tricked the devil twice.
Yeah, tricked him. Hey, I can't pay for this. Turn it into a coin. How stupid is the devil being like, all right, I'll turn it into a coin for you. He didn't climb the tree. Hey, Satan, get up here and get that fruit for me, will ya? So like, yeah, all right, I'll climb this tree.
He's just, I don't know. That's a fucking weird story. I just thought that shit was so bizarre.
That is very weird.
So yeah, that's why we do that. Fucking oddly enough, but hundreds of years later, that's the weirdest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's weird. That's like, so we're doing this. There's no way that that's true, right?
I can't imagine that it's true.
You know what I mean? Like, if that is what was happening, then like, still, why are we even doing that? It's like the weird celebration. Like, carve this jack-o'-lantern, you know what I mean? Be just like Stingy Jack who tricked the devil twice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and not a single person would know what the fuck you're talking about. I swear, if we ask 100 people today about why we do jack-o'-lanterns, 99 people are going to be like, oh. And there will be that one person like you that's going to know.
Maybe.
Like, oh, yeah, it's because of Stingy Jack, and he turned the devil into a coin, and then he went up into a tree and didn't. Then he put a cross in the tree so he didn't get down from the tree. Yeah, everybody knows that.
But even so, I've read that story a half dozen times, and I just now, it's still like new information to me.
Yeah.
So I retain the information.
Yeah.
I just knew that his name was Stingy Jack.
Stingy Jack. Wow.
Yeah, I just think it's fucking bizarre. You know, if you go into work tomorrow and you look at Nate and say, "Hey, I learned about Stingy Jack," he'll fucking laugh his ass off because we talked about that shit for months.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's just a bizarre tale. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I'm glad I missed that conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah, but you got the necktie conversation.
Oh, I got stuck with neck. Well, we never really delved into that though. It was just you said, "Hey, you want to ever wonder why a necktie got invented?" or however you said it. I'm just like, no. And I just walked away, and that was it.
Tune in for November's first episode. The invention of the necktie.
We're going balls deep in neckties.
That's right. We're diving into fashionistas questions across the world. I did neckties and I did cowboy hats.
Oh my God.
And then I think I was hitting everybody with that question of you know, the cooking a pancake and stepping on a Lego, and how quickly do you think of a pack of gum or whatever the fuck it was?
Oh, that was so stupid.
That was a weird fucking question.
Yeah. It was at that point where I was like, all right, this guy needs to leave.
I don't even remember what the fuck I was getting at.
I don't either. But all I knew was you had to go.
And now we work together every day.
Every frickin' day.
Here we are. All right. All Saints Day happened on May 13th AD 609. What is that? May 13 AD 609.
Well, it's the year 609 AD after death.
Oh.
May 13th. They have the AD and the 609 backwards. It's May 13th, 609 AD.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's how
how do they even know?
They don't. I don't think they do.
Pope Boniface, is that how you say this?
Boneface.
Bony face.
It's old Pope Boneface. I think it's either I think it's Boniface. Boniface.
Yeah.
But we'll say Boneface.
Well, just Pope Bonyface the fifth. Dedicated.
No, he's the fourth. That's the fourth.
That's four. Sorry.
Yeah, IV is four. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or dedicated to the Pantheon. I love the word. Wait,
Pantheon.
how did Boniface? What?
Boniface?
Boniface?
Bona. I'm telling you. I think.
Oh, Boniface.
Boniface.
Why was that not in my fucking wheelhouse there?
Boniface. I don't know. I like Boneface.
I like. Here we are, fucking Boniface.
Boniface. Hey, the gabagoo and the Boniface. He's a paisan. He's one of our, yeah.
All right, so Pope Boniface, dedicated to the Pantheon in Rome in honor of all Christian martyrs, and the Catholic Feast of All Martyrs Day was established. All right, I don't want to read this one. This is like all.
You don't want to read any of it?
I'm going to read this one down here. All Souls Day was celebrated similarly to Samhain, with big bonfires, I said padres, parades, and dressing up in costumes as saints, angels, and devils. The All Saints Day celebration was also called All Hallows or All Hallowmas, from Middle English, All Hallow. Oh my God. All Hallowmas.
Hallowmas.
Yeah, All Saints Day. And the night before it, the traditional Night of Samhain in Celtic religion began to be called All Hallows Eve and eventually Halloween. All right, so we already knew that.
Yeah. So, how did Halloween start in America? Thank God we're heading to America. It's not going to get probably not going to get any more normal. So the celebration of Halloween was extremely limited in colonial New England because of the rigid Protestant belief systems there. Halloween was much more common in Maryland and the southern colonies. Maryland's it's Thunderdome in Maryland compared to New England. As the beliefs and customs of different European ethnic groups and the American Indians meshed, a distinctly American version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebrations included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. I always love to celebrate the harvest. You never see me not celebrating the harvest. So neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, dance, and sing. Here's a little did you know? Did you know more people were buying costumes for their pets? I do know that. Americans spent some $700 million on costumes for their pets in 2023, more than 3 times what they did in 2010. Yeah, every one of our animals has a Halloween costume of some sort.
Really?
Yeah, and we can never get them on them. It's a waste.
Dang.
Yeah, so colonial Halloween festivities also featured the telling of ghost stories and mischief making of all kinds. By the middle of the 19th century, annual autumn festivities were common, but Halloween was not yet celebrated everywhere in the country. Even by the middle of the 19th century, by golly. In the second half of the 19th century, now here it comes. Now America was flooded with new immigrants. These new immigrants especially the millions of Irish fleeing from the Irish potato famine. That fucking potato famine helped to popularize the celebration of Halloween nationally.
Dang.
Yep.
Well,
There's some gallery. Oh, there's a gallery of some White House Halloweens. There's JFK.
oh, good old Getty Images back at it.
Getty Images. There's somebody giving a skeleton a handy, it looks like. Betty Ford. Oh, no, I guess she's just kind of looked like she's pleasuring them. There's the Clintons. There's Al Gore and Tipper Gore. We got... Wow, the Gores really went all out dressing up. Oh, look at that. There's the dogs. There's the Obamas. There we go. All right. It was a fun little gallery. So,
the history of trick-or-treating.
there we go.
Borrowing from European traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for food or money. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. I totally lost my train. For food or money, a practice that eventually became today's trick-or-treat tradition. Young women believed that on Halloween they could divine the name or appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. In the late 1800s, there was a move to America to mold Halloween into a holiday more about community and neighborly get-togethers than about ghosts, pranks, and witchcraft. At the turn of the century, Halloween parties for both children and adults became the most common way to celebrate the day. Parties focused on games, foods of the season, and festive costumes. Parents were encouraged by newspapers and community leaders to take anything frightening or grotesque out of Halloween celebrations. Because of these efforts, Halloween lost most of its superstitious and religious overtones by the beginning of the 20th century. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Yep. So then now we go to Halloween parties. Let's party, shall we? So by the 20s and the 30s, 1920s and 1930s, I guess I should be a little more specific. Halloween had become a secular but community-centered holiday, with parades and town-wide Halloween parties as the featured entertainment. Despite the best efforts of many schools and communities, vandalism began to plague some celebrations in many communities during this time. These fucking kids. So now by the 50s, town leaders had successfully limited vandalism, and Halloween had evolved into a holiday directed mainly at the young. Due to the high numbers of young children during the 50s baby boom, parties moved from town civic centers into the classroom or home where they could be more easily accommodated. So between 1920 and 1950, the centuries-old practice of trick-or-treating was also revived. Trick-or-treating was a relatively inexpensive way for an entire community to share the Halloween celebration. In theory, families could also prevent tricks being played on them by providing the neighborhood children with small treats. Thus, a new American tradition was born, and it has continued to grow. Today, Americans spend an estimated $6 billion annually on Halloween, making it the country's second largest commercial holiday after Christmas. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
I like, I forgot what I was going to say. Fuck. All right. Never mind. Go ahead.
All right. So this thus emerges Halloween movies. So speaking of commercial success, scary Halloween movies have a long history of being box office hits. Classic Halloween movies include the Halloween franchise, based on the 1978 original film, directed by John Carpenter and starring Donald Pleasence and Nick Castle, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Tony Moran in, quote-unquote, Halloween. A young boy named Michael Myers murders his 17-year-old sister and is committed to jail only to escape as a teen on Halloween night and seek out his old home and a new target. A direct sequel to this original Halloween was released in 2018, also starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle. A sequel to that, Halloween Kills, came out in 2021, and a sequel to that, Halloween Ends, came out in 2022. That movie...
Go ahead.
Halloween Ends is terrible.
I've heard that. I heard Halloween Kills is decent, right?
Halloween and Halloween Kills are great.
They're great.
For some reason, Halloween Ends was just trash.
I wonder why.
Oh,
That's
so bad.
That's a shame. Here's a fun little did you know? A lot of people your age probably aren't going to know, but Last Starfighter, that movie that we've talked about on here a couple different times, that I absolutely loved the movie The Last Starfighter. It is directed by Nick Castle. Mike Myers himself directed The Last Starfighter. Boom, there you go.
That's
Drop some
shit.
knowledge. Yep. Because my buddy Joe actually met Nick Castle at a Comic-Con, and they talked about making The Last Starfighter. And apparently this Nick Castle told Joe that they're trying to reboot that movie.
Starfighter.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Reboot / remake, kind of, one of those things. That was a couple years ago.
Boy, that would be something.
That would be something. I would love that. Love The Last Starfighter.
Well, considered to be a classic horror film down to its spooky soundtrack, which probably is the most recognizable Halloween song ever. I guess maybe not, because it was The Exorcist sounds so similar to it. I thought that's what we were watching the other day.
Oh, see, I notice a big difference between the two, but I can see people. I can see people thinking that it sounds similar, but yeah. I mean, it's that piano, the high key piano part and everything.
Yeah, well, as it came on, I immediately jerked my head around and was like, whoa, we're watching Halloween, but I guess not.
And it was The Exorcist.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Halloween inspired other iconic slasher films like Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. Speaking of Scream, I watched the 2022 Scream the other day. I haven't finished it quite yet, but and it is almost, it's like The Force Awakens is to A New Hope.
No. So it's like very similar and
extremely similar. It's like the same fucking thing. It starts off the same way. The only difference is in the original Scream, Drew Barrymore gets killed, and in this one it's Jenna Ortega and she doesn't get killed.
Oh.
But it like sets off the series of events, and what's her name from Friends is in it. Courtney Cox. Everybody's in it. Everybody pretty much comes back. It's just very odd. It's a weird fucking movie. But it's good. I'm gonna finish it, but like that's what it is pretty much. It's like that
just still boggles my mind that you start a movie and you don't finish it.
Well, we went to bed.
Yeah, but still, I don't think I've ever in my life watched a movie, stopped halfway or 3/4 of the way and been like, well, I'll finish it tomorrow. Like if I start a movie, it's finished. Unless I fall asleep, but I won't be like, well, we're just going to stop right here. I've never done that. It's really weird how, but I know people that do what you do, and I know people that do what I do. That is like, once you start a movie, you got to watch it all. But then again, I know people that, so I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm not, it's just odd to me.
Well, it's like we'll hang out in our living room till a certain time, whatever we're watching always either gets moved back to the bedroom when we transition to the bedroom. Now, if it's like a hockey game, we'll move it back to the bedroom. Sometimes if they're, unless it's like a shit game, then we just don't even worry about turning it back on.
Yeah.
But this was one of those. I said, well, we'll move this back to the bedroom. And then when we got back there, by the time all the kids got to bed and we did all of our nightly shit and we got back to the bedroom, I looked at the time. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
So I had intentions of finishing it, but didn't work out that way.
Right.
Anyway, so Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Those are all the slashers that came out, and more family-friendly movies. Hocus Pocus, Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice. I don't think Beetlejuice is a Halloween movie.
I would have to say no as well.
It's just a weird Tim Burton movie.
Yeah.
And it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. So,
yeah.
Now the new Beetlejuice is more of a Halloween movie than the original was.
Is that?
Yeah, it's pretty much taking place on Halloween. Like,
oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate the thought process behind it. Like, that's what Freddy Krueger, and we talked about this before, that's what Freddy Krueger or Nightmare on Elm Street lacks that. And same thing with Friday the 13th. I'm sorry, but those are just not Halloween movies. Like,
Right.
when you take those and you make them Halloween movies, then I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, even the original Halloween, yeah, it takes place in the fall, but I'm not sure it has much of, like, a Halloween-inspired storyline.
Gotcha.
Maybe it does. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I got nothing for you on that. I can't elaborate since I haven't really watched any of them, so I don't know.
Well, the original Halloween is extremely tame.
Is it?
It is as tame as The Exorcist was. You know what I mean? Like, it is not, it's not gory. It's just exactly what you would expect from like a late 70s horror movie.
Gotcha. I just could not get over how unscary The Exorcist was when we were watching it. Now, like I said, we didn't get crazy far into it.
Right.
But I kept watching and I'm like, well, why was I scared shitless? Why was millions upon millions of people scared shitless over this movie? Like, I didn't understand. I mean, I could understand, but I didn't understand.
Right.
Like me, being the big puss that I am. I'm like, why did I cry myself to sleep? And why did I have to sleep in my parents' bed for like nights after I accidentally come across watching it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. But maybe, like I said, maybe it'll be one of those things. Maybe these coming days when there's some of these scary movies on TV, maybe I'll grow a set and actually watch them. Well, like I said, I mean, I've told you this story many times about Friday the 13th, how I just watched it here not too long ago. And it just, blew my mind that Jason wasn't even in the Friday the 13th.
Right.
It had nothing to do with him until the very, very end. Because I kept thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, like, when's he coming up? And then it's like, well, fuck, it's the mother. Like, the mother was doing all this shit. It's like, what the hell? Like, so weird.
The another weird thing that like throws me off is that, like, the charm of the 80s film, how it's like sometimes it's just real fucking all over the place.
Yes.
So I'm watching, I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street 2. I think it's 2. Such a weird fucking movie. And like I said, it takes place in the middle of the summertime. And like Freddy Krueger's signature move is to just make the house really hot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Before he's about to attack, he'll just he'll just turn your fucking furnace way up.
Oh.
And it's just, but it's so bizarre. Like in the middle of the movie, the family's just hanging out in the living room, just reading the newspaper, just, having their, 70s fucking lifestyle, whatever they're doing. And then like all of a sudden, like their bird cage just lights on fire. And the dad's like, oh, that's fucking weird. That's all he says. That's weird.
Really?
Yeah. And the son's like, don't you know it's fucking hotter than hell in here? He goes, yeah, it is hot in here, isn't it? What the hell's that all about? Like, he's just so oblivious. You know what I mean? After the family's been fucking tormented, and then he just sitting in the kitchen and the toaster just catches fire and everyone's like, he's just like, oh shit, that's fucking odd. That's so weird. We need a new toaster, I guess. Like, dude.
Jesus.
Get with the fucking prog.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know. It's very strange. And that was about it for me. After that, I was like, I don't know if I can watch these anymore. Like, I love 80s movies, and I have one on the docket. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's called House.
House? I don't believe so.
Yeah, I've got one loaded up, ready for me to watch. Apparently, it's a really good Halloween movie. So I'm gonna check it out. It's like a comedy, and it's got Norm from Cheers in it.
Oh, okay. George Wendt.
Is
his real name. I can't say that I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, apparently it's like a real, it has everything that you would want out of an 80s horror movie.
Wow.
And they mean that in terms of like, it is extremely 80s, like leaning, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
So I'm like, all right, I'm sold. 1983 it came out, so we'll give her a go.
Give her a whirl. Good old House. Let's see. House. I'm just kind of looking it up here. I'm not even finding it anywhere.
Should be on IMDb.
Yeah, I typed in House. I got House of the Dragon, There's a house in 1985. There's a skeleton pushing a troubled writer moves into a haunted house after inheriting it from his aunt. Oh, that's it. Okay, that's it right there.
Yep, that's the one.
Ah, okay. William Catt plays Roger Cobb. No, I don't know what that means. Oh, Bull from Night Court's in it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, son of a bitch.
There's
I've
several-
always seen, like, after like going to movie stores and everything, rent a movie and stuff. I've seen the VCR cover of this many, many times because of the way the skeleton's pushing on the doorknob.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
looks
there's-
interesting. I'm going to give it a
does.
go.
Oh, somebody just got sucked up into. Oh, I'm watching the trailer right now, kinda. That thing looks like a critter, like from. Oh, yeah. Well, you have fun with that. It's only an hour and a half long, I see.
Yeah, I mean, it looks real campy.
Yeah, that's all right. It's 80s. It's gonna be campy.
Yeah, but I think it looks cool.
It
It
does.
spawned several sequels.
Oh. Huh. I wonder
So
what what Norm does in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I can't wait to get your movie review tomorrow at work.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it tonight or not, but you know,
Oh yeah. Well, I guess the date whenever you watch it.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'll probably completely forget that you even watched it. You'll be like, I watched House. I'll be like,
Huh?
what, the show?
My friend Sam, he lives in Los Angeles, or lives in Hollywood,
Oh.
and he first moved down there about 10 years ago, and he said he's like that he was standing in line at a Starbucks, and I don't know if like he was looking at his phone or something, but like he missed his cue to go up there and make his order. And he like turned around to apologize to the guy behind him, and it was Hugh Laurie.
Oh, I think I've heard you tell this story.
And he's like, he was just like giving him the stink eye.
He does have a good stink eye.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All right,
most,
well, we're
most
running
celebrities
short
are assholes.
We're running short on time here, so maybe we should dive into the local stuff.
You want to? Let's go ahead, because I don't really care about All Souls Day and whatever the hell a soul cake is. And costumes through the ages.
Yeah, let's dive into the local stuff, and we will get. Where the hell is that link? There it is. So these are some ghost stories from DuBois. Wait, local ghost stories. That's what I want. All right. Skip the DuBois ones for right now. These are the ones that were user submitted from our friend from my friend Jamie, who is starting a podcast of her own at some point here. She sent most of these to me, and these are all personal experiences that she has had in or around the DuBois area. So, you got it all up?
Hell no. You go ahead and read away. I don't know where I'm going.
Oh, in the Facebook chat, Amanda sent us a Google Drive link.
Shay.
It is right underneath the...
Hey, drives Google. Right there it is. Hey, I'm here now. Let's go for it.
And I typed in, or not typed in, but click on the one that says local ghost stories.
Bingo. I'm there.
Perfect.
Jamie's local ghost stories.
Yeah. All right. So number one, this is at Beulah Land Cemetery in Reynoldsville, Pennsylvania. There's something unsettling about Beulah Land Cemetery in Reynoldsville. A few friends. All right. I'm reading this from her perspective. So I'm going to say, and I. So imagine me as Jamie. A few friends and I decided to explore its eerie reputation as we had been visiting supposedly haunted places around the area. The moment we entered the dirt road leading to the cemetery, the temperature noticeably dropped. Our car's temperature gauge visibly dipped each time we approached. On one particular night, around 1 or 2 in the morning, there were 5 or 6 of us. We parked and got out of the truck to walk around, when, out of nowhere, a pair of car lights appeared at the entrance. Oddly, we hadn't heard any car approach. It circled around the cemetery and eventually stopped behind us, its headlights piercing through the dark. Curious, one of our friends approached the driver's side to check if they needed help. The window rolled down, revealing an elderly couple, skeletal in appearance.
No.
Our friend asked if everything was all right, to which the old man replied with a chilling laugh, "Just checking where we'll be buried," before driving off. As the car passed, we noticed something strange. It had no license plate. And then suddenly, as it had appeared, it vanished into the night without a sound. But that wasn't the end. Right after the car disappeared, a 6-pack of beer sitting on our truck's tailgate flew off and shattered on the ground without any apparent cause. We cleaned it up, of course, but we were all deeply shaken by those events. I later heard a story, although I can't confirm its accuracy. Through the woods, not far from the cemetery, there used to be an old motel. It said that an elderly couple once kidnapped children and held them there before the place burned down, killing all of them. We found that the charred remains of a building that matched the description, but who knows how true that story is. So
fuck that shit.
That's
God
crazy.
Damn it.
That is close to home.
Ooh. I am not going anywhere near Reynoldsville. Oh, God damn. Oh, so she's got another night in Beulah Land Cemetery. I'll read this one. Okay, here we go. There was another experience at Beulah Land Cemetery, this time with my aunt. We visited around midnight, and as we stood outside the car, we noticed headlights coming from beyond the cornfield. But here's the thing. There's no road there. Fuck. The lights seemed to glide through the field, slow and deliberate, and eventually entering the cemetery. Like before, the car passed us slowly, and once again, it appeared to be just an elderly couple inside. There was no license plate on the vehicle, and just as it approached, it left and it disappeared. God damn. That's creepy as shit.
That is crazy.
Ugh. Oh,
right.
I got the willies. Go for it.
The willies. All right, so number 3, the Phantom Hearse at Beechwood Cemetery. So this is also not very far. This story comes from Jamie's mother. When she was younger, she and her aunt, along with some friends, went to the Beechwood Cemetery at night to check and see if the rumors of the hauntings were true. As they stood by the car, they saw what looked like a hearse driving towards them. The sight alone was pretty unsettling to send them scrambling back to their car. So it was unsettling enough to send them back to their car. But the hearse sped up, chasing them as they raced to leave the cemetery. It followed pretty closely, almost tailgating them until they reached the main road. And then, without warning, it vanished into thin air, leaving nothing but silence.
No! No!
That's crazy.
Oh my God. I hate this shit. All right. So I can't even think about this stuff. Okay. So now we got number 4, the lantern at the Boy Scout camp. So this is, of course, from this Jamie's perspective. So it's when I say I, it don't mean I. So when I was younger, I went to a Boy Scout camp with my 2 aunts and some cousins. We heard that if you sat in a certain spot, you could see a man with a lantern walking around the camp at night. My brother had seen it before and told us where to go. This was before cell phones, so my aunts got out of the van to use a payphone nearby and confirm the location with my brother. While they made the call, my cousins and I stayed behind in the van. As we waited, we noticed something strange. What looked like a lantern floating around just outside the woods. By the time my aunts returned, it had disappeared. Oh, I don't know how these people do this shit. I would just... I can't do it.
How many pairs of underwear would you need to take with you?
All of them. I probably would just wear a diaper. I would just let it flow because
whatever you got to do, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this one, number 5, the old Catholic school by the hospital. So this is a still active place, and they use it every day. It is literally in the parking lot of the hospital.
Yeah, it used to be DuBois Central, right?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife has told me many times that there are people still there that still experience shit. I didn't know who to reach out to get any of their experiences, so we'll just go with this one. There's an old building by the hospital that used to be a Catholic school. While I haven't had any direct experiences there, I can say that the energy in that place is overwhelming. Jamie is evidently an empath, and she often picks up on the presence of energy in that, and that building feels active. It's hard to explain, but the sensation is unmistakable. So not that scary, but still, place, yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Ew. All right. So number 6, the house in Big Run.
And this is out just past Sykesville.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so my aunt used to rent a house in Big Run, and I've never been in a place with so much negative energy. The house itself seemed to pulse with something dark, something sinister. I remember when my aunt was first looking at the place, my cousins went upstairs to check out the bedrooms, and as they entered one of the kids' rooms, the door slammed shut behind them. Then I would have just left. I would have just been like, I'm out. We're not getting this place. I don't care what happens. Fuck this shit. Okay, so no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't get it open until my aunt heard their screams and ran to help. What? She managed to open the door, but no one could explain why it had jammed so suddenly. From that point on, everyone except my uncle slept in the living room. My cousin once woke up in the middle of the night and saw a massive black shadow standing in the hallway. It moved closer, inching toward her, until she threw the covers over her head and began to pray. When she finally peeked, the shadow was gone. Oh, I can't. I am one big fucking goosebump right now. I am like, I can't do this. Oh, this is so freaky.
It is freaky.
I don't know why I can't handle this stuff, but I can't.
It's okay. This is the last one. Number 7 from the same house. One big fucking goosebump. Yeah, there you go. All right. So in the last house, or in the same house, there were many unsettling events in that house, but one that still haunts me was the night that my aunt and I stayed up in the kitchen talking. We heard footsteps coming from the basement, loud enough that we thought someone had broken in. The basement door was right next to us, but every time we checked, no one was there. Each time the footsteps began, the temperature in the kitchen would drop to the point where we could see our breath. That's fucked. The candle on the table would grow taller and yet remained eerily still. There was also a foul smell, something rotten that filled the air during these moments. Later, my uncle mentioned something that sent chills down my spine. He began working on the kitchen floor when suddenly he heard the door open, and my cousin yelled, "Dad, we're home." He responded, but when he went to check, nobody was there. That is fucking skinwalker fucking territory.
Oh, God damn.
You know about skinwalkers?
No.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know.
Skinwalkers are fucked up. That's what that is. That's what that reminds me of. Now, I can't speak for, the rotten smell and the footsteps and whatever. But when you hear, I've seen videos of people that like will be hanging out in their room and like all of a sudden they'll be like, they'll hear their own voice say, "Hey, come here." And you don't go, obviously.
Oh,
that's some crazy shit.
Well,
I'd like to thank you, Jamie, for submitting these creepy tales. And
no, Jamie, no, thank you. No,
providing us with this week's episode title, "One Big Fucking Goosebump." How can
she? I mean, to even function with all this stuff happening, I wouldn't be able to. Oh, wow. I can't.
It did break Mitch.
Oh, I am broken. I am. Like I said, I can't stop. I got the heebie-jeebies. I'm gonna have to watch, like, I don't know. I can't do this now. I can't.
Like fucking 10 episodes of Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, give me some SpongeBob. I'm gonna overload on sports, and I'm not gonna think about Halloween. I'm so glad this stupid holiday's finally gonna be over. Even though as we're doing this, it's not over yet. It hasn't even, we haven't gotten there yet, but.
Wild.
No.
And that's all pretty close to home.
Okay, so never go to Reynoldsville. I'm never going to Big Run. I'm not going to Beechwoods. I'm not
That's
going
okay.
anywhere.
Ghosts, they've never killed anybody, so
no.
What do you have to worry about?
It's just that. What if they do? What if I'm the first? There's always going to be a first. What if I'm it? What if that shadowy figure comes over to me and I get possessed by it? And then I become that shadowy figure? Or what? I would probably literally shit myself to death. I would die out of pure fear.
I mean, I don't have an answer for you.
No.
If that was what happened, then your motive would change.
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is I don't want, if we were in a house and I heard footsteps and there was nobody there, I would be gone. You would not see me. I would not even have enough time to say goodbye. You would hear a squeal and you would smell shit because I have literally peed. I have peed and pooped myself to the car. I can't do it. I can't.
But like, I don't know. What do you? That's legit. What you're afraid will happen? That you'll that because there's no record of it.
No, but there's going to be a first, and I will be the first. I will be the first that will die from something like this.
Right.
I don't know. I don't like being scared. I don't like fear. That's my least favorite. Is it emotion? No, not. Is it emotion?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fear is. I don't want to ever be fear of anything. No fear.
I mean, I totally get you.
Yeah. So I can't. I can't even form I can't even see.
Well,
I can't.
About it like
I can't form a real sentence.
They say, all right. I'll try to lighten it up for you because this is the story that I heard that like made me reconsider a lot of things. Okay, and it was a guy who did this exact thing. He was a ghost hunter. And he went to a place, and he said that all the places that he tried getting evidence at, he always did the same thing, pretty much what they do on ghost hunters, right? He would try to talk to the ghosts, try to get them to, say specific things. But then he decided one day that he was going to ask a different question. And instead of saying like, who are you? What's your name? Yada, yada, yada. He decided to say, what year are you from?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
So instead, the response that he got was like, let's say this happened in 2022. He said the response that he got was like 2045. Which is fucking crazy. He's like, the first time ever that he's ever asked a paranormal entity what year they were from, and they give you the future.
Yeah.
So who's to say that this alleged haunted location that this guy was talking about or at, hunting, if you will, wasn't being hunted 20 years from then by a different person. And this guy's getting a response from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying that like that. Yeah, like Amanda brought up. No, I just had this conversation with Lily the other day as we're standing at Spirit Halloween, and I'm looking at a Ouija board, and I said, if you're ever somewhere and someone has one of those, leave. Like, I don't fuck with them. I won't fuck with them.
No. We had one at our house, but we never touched it. Never wanted anything to do with it.
Right, and not to get deep into the otherworldly type deal, parallel dimensions, time travel shit. But what if that was what is happening? You know what I mean? Like they say, they scientists say that time past, present, and future is all one linear thing that's happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nonsense to me because it's unfathomable to think about.
Right.
To think that everything is so linear that it's all happening in the same time frame, which means that we're not moving forward at all. It's just all happening, which explains a lot of shit in terms of paranormal stuff. Like when you're standing in Gettysburg and you can see fucking ghosts of soldiers walking in the fucking battlefield, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
How do you know you're not just watching a movie from the past?
Yeah.
Just happening. You know what I mean? Because they're not doing anything. They're not looking to harm you. They're just, for lack of a better phrase, haunting.
Ugh.
But they're not causing a trouble. They're not causing a stir. I can't speak for Jamie's stories in the shadow in the hallway. You know what I mean? Demonic entities are totally fucking different than paranormal entities, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like The Exorcist is a simple thing. And I'm not trying to convince you to not be scared. You know, whatever. You got to do what you got to do. But everything's got a motive.
I guess. I just
You know what I mean?
know. I just know I can't deal with this. I think I'm at that age now where I don't think there's no going back. I am a scaredy puss when it comes to this, and I'm always going to be one. And I'm gonna, once Halloween's over, I'm not gonna think about any of this stuff, and I'm gonna live in my nice little sheltered hermit life that there's no ghosts around until you bring it up.
I mean, I'm not going to bring it up all the time. But I mean, lucky for you, we're at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
And we are at the last episode of, October. So
now we can talk about turkeys and the pilgrims.
Yeah.
And corn cobs and what the fuck are those called? Cornucopias. That's what I want, not corn cobs. Cornucopia.
Fruit of the loom, buddy.
Fruit of the looms. I can stop being one big fucking goosebump.
I love it. All right. Well, folks, that's going to do it. We'll see you in November.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Peace out.
Bye.
This is the end of the show. You made it. Who would have known? We thank you deeply for listening along. Tune in next week with another one. As always, it's been a really fun time. We're back again. We're Ineffably Sublime. Every Tuesday, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. With Bubs, the host with the most, and Spuds McGamble, the Southpaw co-host with a wild name, and our producer, a Mandalorian, produced in the Pennsylvania Wild. Now we're in South and Captain Fudge, what the land we were speaking of wishing. With Bubs and Spuds, everything comes light. But you're to lean back and have a ball. Unique for the blues when the brass is hot. When the saxophone sings, I shows the spot. So pour that rye and sway to the beat. Every episode a special treat. That sweet brew, feel the rhythm tight. With McGamble hosting every night. It's Ineffably Sublime and wild we find. Buds and Spuds bringing joy of every kind.